Hello, my empath friends. Earlier in the week, I did a reading and we pulled the Seven of Cups. Now, the Seven of Cups is all about self-doubt, hesitation, and an inability to make a decision. Now, we can see from this card that there are plenty of options, but the way that this card, gets a grip on you is because you want and need to get that right. You need to make the right decision. And of course, that neediness to get it right drops your energy. Anytime that you sort of come down into that need instead of that want, your energy starts to sort of pull on that desperation, that stress, that willpower to try to, get it right. It can be so frustrating. It can show up in your body, with rumination, sleepless nights, gut problems, leg problems, even back problems, because there's such a need to get it right in fear of the consequence in getting it wrong. And so with that, we need to really have a look at what's going on with that trigger. Instead of being able to just manifest that ease, trust your intuition, go with the clarity, go with the confidence, we need to have a look at what is that trigger. And I'm going to take you through a timeline process that we teach in NLP to be able to do exactly that. So the power is in your hands to be able to go back, resolve that trigger, gain some learnings from it so your unconscious mind can let go of that angst and that neediness and come from a higher perspective, that highest truth of who you are. And therefore the decision, the choice to move forward is so much easier, so much lighter. And instead of sort of pulling on your friends, what do you think? What do you think? It'll just be great to get their perspective and their encouragement about your decision on what you want to do. So again, I love this process. Anytime that I get up to teaching this in NLP practitioner, it's just so exciting to teach this to wellness professionals, teachers, kinesiologists, chiropractors, because boy, oh boy, you put these tools in the hands of somebody who's already naturally a healer. It's so remarkable the type of results that you get from this one process. And of course, when it's personalized, you really feel that ripple effect. But I'm going to do my best today to take the group through this process and setting the intention that if your intuition has drawn you to this particular video, that there's something in it here for you. I encourage you to approach this with an open mind and drop down those walls and barriers for the outcome at the other end. And of course, you can analyze how this works later, but I just encourage you to just go with the process, setting the intention to resolve that self-doubt, setting the intention to come out at the other end with that clarity, a unique perspective, something that will help you move forward. Because boy, oh boy, when you get that, your manifesting becomes so much easier because you're coming from that highest truth. Now, to give you a quick example on how this works, I was working with a client who was struggling to attract in clients. I think a lot of us know that that angst that comes with that. And of course, she was comparing herself to what are other people doing, feeling the stressed, waking up, checking her phone. Has anybody bought? Does anybody want me? All of this energy on like attracting in clients. So it was dropping her energy lower and lower the more that she just stayed in that stuckness and that rumination. And of course, clients can feel that. There's going to be a buffer in her energy field that's holding out people from being able to access her from like that comparison, the neediness, the rejection. So as a coach, as a wellness professional, it's well worth doing the inner work on yourself so that you too can manifest in the results for you and your clients. So what did we do? We did this timeline process to go back in time to when that rejection, that self-doubt first came into her. And what we did then was to have a look at that limiting decision. What was going on for her that she put herself second, that she made herself small, that she made other people's needs so much more important than her own? What was going on there at that childhood level where her unconscious mind had made that connection to say, people outside of me, there's a lack of safety there, like there's a buffer. Don't see me, I don't want to be bullied anymore, I don't want to be taken advantage of anymore. There was something that was going on in her childhood where she just shrunk her energy, made herself small, and put herself out of the way. Now, as a grown-up, that strategy is no longer working because she's now got the tools in her toolkit. She wants to share, to be seen, to be heard, to be valued for her amazing gifts. But of course, there's this old narrative that keeps her unconscious mind pulling her into an old story of being small. And so with Timeline, what we do is we go back, we have a look at that limiting decision, we gain some new learnings from a higher perspective, and we send so much love to that inner child, that earlier version of you, to say thank you for creating that strategy that ensured our survival. You did an amazing job. But now I've got the steering wheel of life. Be at ease, be relaxed, come with me for the drive. I am now the grown up. I am now steering the steering wheel of life. And the whole unconscious mind will let go of the way that the program has always been, and the neural networks and everything else, all the fancy energy starts to shift. So you approach life with that new perspective, that acceptance that, like, yes, here I am, ready to go. And of course, with the way that I work with my clients, this is the results that I would expect. And yes, she absolutely did attract in over 24 hours. She absolutely attracted in an influx and inundated with clients because her energy was showing up differently. Her body, her mind, her soul was like, yes, I'm ready for this. And so even from then, and then she got invited to a particular gig, I was going to say, but to speak in front of 1,600 people. So this process is very, very powerful. Of course, that particular client has had other processes and other coaching done around that to support that new change, just to bring in those strategies of success. But when I tell you that this works, I tell you, like, the results, if your soul, your body, your mind is ready for the change, woo! So exciting. So enough about me waffling. Let's jump into this. Let's experience Timeline together. And yeah, just to be open, trusting the first thing that comes to mind. And as I always say, let's get started. Okay, so centering yourself, knowing that this time is just for you. I just invite you to close your eyes. And as your eyes are closed, just want you to look up towards those gorgeous eyebrows of yours. Now that just simply signals to your brain to go into that unconscious, creative part of you. And then we just pour in that relaxation. Trusting the first thing that comes to mind, I want you to scan your body and notice, where are you holding on to that self-doubt? Where are you holding on to that limiting decision? Just acknowledging there how it feels in your body. Is it hot or is it cold? Does it have a weight? Does it have a color? And just noticing that there's that self-doubt, fear of rejection, that limiting decision somewhere sitting in your body. Now again, trusting your unconscious mind, checking in. Is your unconscious mind ready to let go of this self-doubt, this limiting decision? And just notice that your mind will start to give you a yes, or maybe not yet. I'm assuming that it said yes, and so I just invite you to follow along. Knowing that this self-doubt, this limiting decision is ready to let go of, it's time to really check in. What was the root cause the very first time that you experienced this self-doubt? Was it in this lifetime? Was it in a past life? Was it ancestral? Or was it in the womb? Trusting the very first thing that came to mind there about the first time you experienced this self-doubt, the first time it got programmed into you. And again, trusting. If you said this life, what age? If you said past lives, how many lifetimes ago? If you said genealogical, how many generations ago? And if it was in the womb, what week, what month? Again, trusting the first thing that comes to mind. And so knowing that we've got that, I invite you now to just effortlessly and easily floating up out of your body. Just feeling the lightness of that as you float up above the room that you're in, floating up above the building that you're in, floating up above the country that you're in, floating up higher and higher so that when you're there, we're amongst the stars, you can look down and notice that there's that really busy timeline of yours. Intuitively, you'll know which direction is your future and which direction is your past. And today what we're going to do is we're going to zoom all the way back to that root cause, the very first time that this self-doubt ever came into you. Fear of rejection, the limiting decision. And you don't have to consciously know, but your unconscious mind will just give you a sense, a knowing, when we float along your time stream, that we're above that event. And so as we zoom all the way back on your timeline, zooming all the way back, notice that there's that dot, there's that color, there's that ball, that stop sign, that lamp on your time stream, so you know that you're above that event the very first time that self-doubt first came into you. And in a moment, not yet, I'm going to ask you to drop down into that event to see what you saw, hear what you heard, and to get a sense of what caused you to make that limiting decision, that self-doubt, that fear of rejection. And so I don't know if you're going to drop down into this life, a past life, into the womb or genealogical, but just trusting the first thing that comes to mind on 3, 2, 1, and just allowing yourself to drop down into that event, that first time you experience self-doubt. Just notice what you see. Notice what you felt. Notice, is it daytime or nighttime? Are you inside or outside? And just being in that event, allowing your unconscious mind to scan and notice what was the cause for you to make that limiting decision, that self-doubt, that fear of rejection. Just inviting your unconscious mind to give you that knowing. And if you don't know, just invite your unconscious mind to make it up. What we're aiming for today is to resolve this. And so how your unconscious mind works with symbols, with pictures, is absolutely perfect. So as you're at that event, as you're discovering the reason, the cause for that limiting decision, that self-doubt, I want you to float up above your time stream, floating higher and higher. It's like feeling the relief of being out of that heavy energy. Now, from this higher perspective, you're now in that learning position. And from this higher perspective, I want you to look down on that event and to notice what are the learnings there, the learnings of which will help you release that self-doubt, that limiting decision. Obviously, you're no longer a child. Obviously, you're no longer in that past life. Yet that moment in time has had such a grip on you. It's time to let it go. And again, from this higher perspective, recognizing what are the learnings there for you to release this permanently. Now, as you're aware of those positive learnings, Notice if there's a colour attached to those positive learnings. Notice if there's a sound to those positive learnings. And just allowing your whole body to just breathe in that colour, that sound, that relief, that yummy feel-good energy. Really integrating that new awareness, that new aha. And as you take that into your body, into your being, into your mind, into your soul, I want you to just have that colour, that sound ripple out in all directions of your time stream so that you have access to those learnings anytime that you want. Now with that in place, I invite you to float along your time stream just a week or two earlier than that event. Just floating on your time stream a week or two earlier. And I want you to see yourself pouring in all of those learnings into that lifetime. That colour, that sound, that energy. Bringing relief to that younger version of you. This is that self-connection. And so as we're still on that time stream, I now invite you to float all the way back. But as you float back, I want you to notice how the new consequences, the new choices, the new possibilities start to become available to you as you float along your time stream back to now, bringing with you all of those aha moments, those learnings, that wonderful, yummy energy. And as you float all the way back to now, I want you to just take a moment and have a look into the future, a week or two into the future. And notice that with this new energy, with these new learnings, that future you has new choices available. Noticing what you believe about yourself when you've made that decision that's right by you. So when you know you've got that, it's time to journey all the way back to now. Bringing with you those positive learnings, the ahas, that self-confidence. It's like holding your head high, breathing in, wiggling those fingers and toes, coming back to this now time, and when you're ready, opening your eyes to a whole new you. How was that? Hopefully you got some new learnings there, some new ahas, some new perspectives. And I'm hoping from this new experience that you'll start to notice and look out for the things that are now different and new choices that become available to you. It's really beautiful, really exciting when this ripple effect starts to flow through your day-to-day world. So feel free to message me, make a comment, and I look forward to hearing how you went with this. Bye guys.